So, Postscriptum. I've been playing it more like off stream recently, and I think I've been enjoying the game more than I used to. I mean, I've made some videos in the past saying how it's not that good, but I think I am just enjoying it a bit more. Yes, it is slower paced than Hell Let Loose. Yes, the graphics are dated. It does have other problems as well, but when you get into combat, it can be really intense. One thing that it does have that's really good is the particle effects, like smoke, explosions, stuff like that. Those are just outstanding. Teamwork is generally really good in Postscriptum as well, and I think that's because the player base is quite small. So generally, I think the players that actually play the game will be the more like hardcore or committed players to the game, because unfortunately the player base is still sort of dipping off. I think the devs have made some good changes, like the armor rework. They're integrating some mods into the game to give the game more content, which is really good. They're bringing in new maps themselves. They're updating the engine. I think they're doing a lot of good stuff, but the player base just doesn't seem to be recovering, and I think that is a big shame. The game is good. It is. I think a lot of players will just put it up against Hell Let Loose, and yeah, in my opinion, Hell Let Loose is better. It's more user-friendly, although Hell Let Loose does have its problems with the new player experience. I think Hell Let Loose has got better or easier to pick up gunplay, but I think the games can exist side by side, and yeah, it is just a shame that the player base just isn't really there for Postscriptum. But if you do want to play it, you won't have a problem finding a full server. There may be some queues getting into these servers, but there will be servers there, so I would say at least try it out if you are interested. But the main two issues I have with the game... Oh, excuse me, I just need to take a drink. Yeah, as I was saying, the two main issues I have with the game, one is the stamina system. And it makes sense for this game to have a stamina system because you can't just sprint forever. You know, you're going to get tired. It doesn't matter how well trained you are going to get tired. So it does make sense to, have stamina so you can recover it. But the problem I have with it is that the stamina regen is quite low. And to counteract this, the devs have put in the Canteen, or their drinking system. And you have a drink and it increases your stamina regen rate, and it allows you just to, well, get your stamina back quicker, or if you have a drink before sprinting, you can sort of sprint a bit longer because you're getting not as much stamina drain because of that drink you've had. And I don't think it sort of works that well with the game, just having to stop and take a drink to get your stamina back. It makes sense to just wait. And I think the devs should really scrap the stamina drinking system and then just make either your stamina drain slower or increase the rate that your stamina comes back. That's what I think they should do there. The other is all the interiors of every single building. They're just... You can't really call them bad because they're just nothing there. There is nothing, right? You may find the odd table, but they're all the same floor textures, all the same blank white walls. From a game optimization standpoint, it kind of makes sense. There's less for the game to handle if every room is empty and is using the same textures. But it makes nearly every single map feel like a fake North Korean town. I think Hell Let Loose does this better. It has really not a lot of buildings you can go inside when we're looking at maps like Canteen or Samurai Demant, Samurai Église. But these buildings do actually have stuff in them, and they do look like actual houses. You know, they have beds, wallpaper, photos, tables, chests of drawers, just normal stuff you'd expect a house to find. But in Postscriptum, there's nothing. And I can pretty much guarantee it is from an optimization standpoint. If they had like every single building you can go into in the game plus furnishings, it will put a lot of load into the game. I don't think they will actually go back and change the maps and start closing off a lot of these buildings and putting furnishings in the ones they don't close off. I'm not sure how the player base would react to that. if you are like a dedicated Postscriptum player, I'd like to know your thoughts on that. Would you like to see certain buildings closed off and then furnishings and just other stuff put into buildings to make it like more lived in? Because I think I would. Because yeah, it's just really really immersion breaking seeing the buildings like that. If you are a big Hell Let Loose player and you love World War II and you want something just a bit more hardcore, try Postscriptum. I can't guarantee you'll like it. If you're a tank player for Hell Let Loose, then from what I've heard, the tank system, or armor system should really say, in Postscriptum is a hell of a lot better. I don't play tanks in Hell Let Loose. I think I've played the game for over 1,000 hours and maybe done 3 or 4 games in a tank. It's just not my thing, so I'm not going to really go into Postscriptum and try that. But from what I've heard from other tank players in Hell Let Loose who've gone and tried Postscriptum, they've said that the armor system in Postscriptum is just better. So, armor players, Postscriptum could be what you're after there, really. I am going to be putting out more full-length gameplay videos of Postscriptum up onto the channel, and by that I mean videos where I've played an entire game through from start to finish and get a full sense of the scope of the battle, the movements, and generally like the story, I like to call it, from where we keep pushing forward, get pushed back, capture certain locations and move forward. I also will be streaming the game as well, putting it alongside the sort of usual games I play, like Hell Let Loose, and I'm trying to put in some VR streams as well, but I did a VR stream recently and did get a little bit sweaty, but I did have a good time, and I hope the people that watched it enjoyed it as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe for more, and thank you for watching.
We're taking point apparently, just get on cab if you can. There's apparently a rally point in the building to the west, marked accurately.
I think somebody's coming up on our rally.
Rally is hot.
Maybe we stood at.
Machine gun at the top of the stairs on that building.
We could respawn at the fog, get another vehicle, and just drive straight into the point.
Yeah, fuck it, spawn southeast.
Honestly, the other squads need to do that, because we're so, yeah.
I have the idea that we are more aggressive than the other squads, yeah.
If we can take hotel, I'll be happy.